Good morning to all of you and welcome back. The last class we had stopped on how AS and AD adjust to each other. What was the adjustment mechanism being used? And if you see the diagram over here, on the x-axis we have our income, output and employment. On the y-axis we have AD, which is the sum of C plus I, that is consumption plus investment. We have the income line, which is AS, which is the 45-degree line, has already been taught to you. Okay, so this is AS, Y, and here we have this upward rising curve, which is AD, which is the sum of C plus I. So what is happening over here? When AD cuts AS at a point, that point is called the equilibrium point. That point is the equilibrium point. So AD equals S, AS at this point. Now look at the diagram carefully. AS line is on top, the AD line is at the bottom over here, below that. What is happening here? AS is greater than AD. AD is here, AS is here. Which is greater? AS is greater than AD. Now, in such a situation, what happens when AS is greater than AD? When AS is greater than AD means supply is more than the demand. So when supply is more and demand is less, what will happen? People will first get what they require, and the supply which was extra over there, they will remain with the producers as a stock. Right or wrong? So he says the firms and the consumers would buy the goods that they require, and some goods would remain unsold in this situation because supply is more, demand is less. So the goods are more, goods would remain there. So what would we do? What would happen? Now to clear this what you call unwanted stock, which in economics is called inventory, the firms will now have to plan out less production. Because they already have certain stock lying with them. So they have to plan their output in such a way that first they will consume all their inventory, which is their unsold stock. So naturally their output or their production would be less. And this process would keep on happening. The process of decreasing in the output will continue. Will continue till it comes to the point of E. That is where AD is equal to AS. So what happens in this case? When AS is greater than AD, there will be a tendency to decrease production. Who will decrease the production? Naturally the producers. National income will reduce, and it will reduce employment, output and income all reduce till AD equals. Understood? This is the first case. Second case, if AD is greater than AS. Now look at the picture over here. Your AD line is above the AS line. Yes or no? It is above the AS line. So AD is greater than supply. What does this mean? Demand is more, but the supply in the market is less. The flow of goods and services will be less than the demand. So what has happened? The producers will find that the stocks are falling below the desired level. The stocks which they will have to now put into the market. Right? Demand more, they have to supply more. They have to take care of the demand. So to take care of the demand, what do? the inventory or the stocks which they have to supply them. And this, what happens? Existing stocks of the producers would be used. Now to rebuild this stock, what will have the producers? Would have to plan a greater production. So there will be more output. When there is more output, there will be more income. Here you see the arrows going upwards. They will have to produce more and come to this point E, where AD cuts the AS. So that is the point of AD. Have you all understood? So write it down now. Yesterday or on Friday, I had made you write this part. Yes or no? Yes? Give me a nod. Okay. Today I'll make you write if AS less than AD or AD greater than AS. If AD greater than AS. First, it means planned spending is more than the planned output. Means that the planned spending is more than the planned output. When AD greater than AS, the flow of goods and services in the economy tend to be less than their demand. So the producers find the stocks falling. So the producers find the stocks falling below the desired level. The consumers would be buying more goods than the firms produce. As a result, the existing stock of the producers would be sold. To rebuild the desired stock, the producers would plan greater production for the following year. Producers produce more output, and more output means more income. This process of increase in output will continue until the economy is back at the output level, of OY, that is at point P. In this case, there will be a tendency of increase in production and national income till it reaches equilibrium level of income at which AD equals AS. Is that okay, children? Now we come to the second method, that is the savings and investment approach. Can I wipe out the board? Saving and investment approach. Savings and investment approach. Where S is equal to I is equal to S are the same. Write down the savings and investment approach is derived from AD equals AS, because AD is equal to AS. What is AD plus I, and what is AS? C plus S. C being the common factor, I is equal to S. The equilibrium level of income, write down. The equilibrium level of income and output is that level at which planned savings and planned investments are the same or equal. In other words, equilibrium level of output, and income is determined where planned savings is equal to planned investments. Or where savings and investment curves, intersect each other. Diagram between on the x-axis, what do we have? Income, output, and employment. Same income, output, and employment. I'm writing it in short form IOE. On the y-axis, we have savings and investments. Savings and investments. Okay. Will be y. Okay. Equilibrium point will be at this place where S is equal to I. When the saving curve cuts the investment curve at a point, that point P is called the point of equilibrium, where S is equal to I. So now write down the observations of this diagram. First, in the diagram, the equilibrium level of income and output is that level at which planned income not planned income, at which planned savings and investments are equal. Second point, S is the saving curve which shows planned savings at different levels of income. Third point, The SS curve starts from the negative. It starts from the negative, that is below the point of origin. Starts from negative value because there must be some consumption when income is 0. And what is the name I had given you for this? Autonomous consumption. So autonomous consumption means some consumption by a person even when his income is 0. And what does he do? He normally borrows from his savings. Normally takes out from the savings. So your savings is shown in the negative. That is why the SS curve begins in the negative, stating the different levels of savings and showing that there is some consumption even when income is 0. Next, the II shows a fixed level of investment. As it is assumed that investment is given and is constant fourth point, fifth point, whatever it is. Both the curves intersect at point E. Which is the point of equilibrium. And the last point, at the output level of OY. Look at this point, OY. At the output level of OY, the firms plan to invest an amount equal to EY. At the output level of OY, the firm plans to invest an amount equal to EY. Also, households plan to save an amount equal to EY. Therefore, OY is the equilibrium level of income and output as it is at this level. The planned savings and investments are equal. The rest of this will be continued tomorrow. What happens? How are the adjustments done? Just like the previous one. How savings and investment adjust to each other. The adjustments mechanism will be done in tomorrow's class.